there, storytellers, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a challenge inspired by one I've been seeing going around on BookTube. That challenge is the Do I Have That Book challenge, and more recently, Do I Have That Other Book challenge. Basically, it is a list of 20 questions or prompts directing you to find a book in your collection that meets that criteria. So I decided I'd do my own version of the tag with an autumn twist. As a quick note, I will be including the links to the original creators of the Do I Have That Book and Do I Have That Other Book tags down below, as well as the questions for my Do I Own That Tome prompt. So if you want to play along with me and see how well you do up against my time, then we can square up. See whose time is better. If you do play, let me know by tagging me. I think you get the idea, so let's get right on into it. Question 1. A mostly orange cover. Oh, mostly orange. That's not orange. I don't have one. I do. Okay. Question 2. A cover with a tree or branches. Question 3. A collection of spooky short stories. Question 4. A book with house in the title. Question 5. A book whose main character has red hair. Question 6. A title that begins with the letter before or after your first initial. So my first initial is M. I need L or N. L. Okay. Question 7, I think. A book with sprayed edges. The new one's over here. Question 8. A book with a supernatural character other than witch, wolf, werewolf, or vampire. So none of the usual suspects. Okay, question 10, 9, I don't know. A book whose protagonist or main character is a villain or antihero. Oh, perfect. I don't know. Question, a book that is longer than 500 pages. Okay, next question. A book with a secret society as part of the plot. A book with an exclusive cover design or an exclusive edition of a book. Why can't I find any of the ones that I know I have? Okay. A book by a black author. Yeah. Next question, a novella. So for those of you who don't know, a novella is shorter than a novel, longer than a short story. And I have one. Okay, next book. A book set in autumn. Also. Okay. A contemporary set in a country other than your own, and by that I do mean other than the country you are currently living in. So, do I have any? Yeah. Okay. A novelty book. So by that I can mean sort of fun facts books, silly little like books you pick up at weird gift shops, that kind of thing. So I don't know if I have any out anymore. I don't think I do. Got one. Oops. Question 19, I'm now near the end, so I know what question I'm at. A prequel novel. Okay. And lastly, question 20, a book with a number in the title, and that can be either a numerical number or a number spelled out. Do I have one? I feel like I definitely do have one. Oh, perfect. Okay, my time was 5 minutes, 32 seconds. If you can beat me at my own game, do tag me in that video or let me know on Instagram at Consulting Storyteller. I would love to know how you did. But anyway, I will review the choices for each prompt that I picked for this challenge. For a book with a mostly orange cover, I picked The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes by Alyssa R. Sloan. For a book that has a cover with a tree or branches on it, I picked The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. Look at those foil branches. For my collection of spooky short stories, I went with The Thing on the Doorstep and Other Weird Stories by H.P. Lovecraft. For a book with house in the title, I picked Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. For a book whose main character has red hair, I picked Song of the Sparrow by Lisa Ann Sandell, and I know her hair doesn't look red on the cover, but in the novel it is described as being red. For a book whose title begins with the letter before or after my first initial, which is M, I went with Legendary by Stephanie Garber. For a book with sprayed edges, I went with my copy of Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. It has these awesome black sprayed edges. For a book with a supernatural character other than werewolf, witch, or vampire, I went with Rooms by Lauren Oliver, which I believe is a ghost story. For a book whose protagonist or main character is a villain or anti-hero, I went with Vicious by V.E. Schwab. For a book longer than 500 pages, I went with The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon, and this book is like 1,000 pages. If you count all the glossaries, it's in the 800s. For a book where a secret society is part of the plot, I went with Legendborn by Tracy Dion. For a book with an exclusive cover design or an exclusive edition, I went with my exclusive cover designed copy of Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. For a book written by a Black author, I went with A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. For a novella, I went with The Body by Stephen King. I know this looks like a standalone novel, but it is in fact originally part of a novella collection called Different Seasons. For a book set in autumn, I thought the perfect book would be Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. It is obviously set in autumn as they are working Halloween night. I just realized that my brain totally honed in on contemporary other than your own, and the initial book I picked didn't meet that criteria, but I know one that does, so hang on. So initially I went with Dracula, obviously set in Transylvania, so not the USA, but also not a contemporary novel because it's a horror novel. So for my actual contemporary novel set in a country other than my own, I'm going to go with Again But Better by Christine Riccio, and it is set in England. For my novelty book, I went with So You Think You're a Bookworm, over 20 hilarious profiles of book lovers from sci-fi fanatics to romance readers by Jo Hoare. Hoare? I don't know how to pronounce it. For a prequel novel, I went with one of my more recent additions, and that is Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. And last but not least, for my book with a number in the title, I went with The 9 Lives of Chloe King by Liz Braswell. So as a bonus question, you can give yourself an extra point for any of the books that you picked that met the criteria, but also have a fantasy, autumn, or sort of dark, spooky twist to them. I'll be broad on it. You can be generous with yourself. So let me tally up my extra points. From my bonus points, that gives me 15 extra points, which brings my grand total to 35. But then again, I made these questions, so I was pretty confident as I was coming up with them that I would be able to find these prompts within my own collection, and I proved myself right. But let me see how you do. Like I said, tag me. I want to see how everybody does on this challenge. But that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know by leaving a like down below. And if you want to keep up with me and all of my bookish adventures, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button. Like I've been saying for 20-something days now, you can always ring the little bell so that you don't miss a beat of Vlogoween. We have 7 days left if you don't count today, so a week left of Vlogoween. I will see you guys tomorrow with a new video. Bye!